This today marked the first day of school, with different provinces ensuring that it's all systems go. The provinces are also still celebrating the Matric class of 2024 for achieving the highest pass rate since the dawn of democracy. Let's reflect on how day one went, and we're hoping to speak to Sipho Hlomuka, KZN Education MEC. We have, though, Mavhungu Lerule-Ramakhanya, who's the Limpopo Education MEC, as well as David Maynier, who is the Western Cape Education MEC. Good evening to both MECs, and thank you so much for your time. I'm going to start with you, MEC Maynier. How did day one go? Did you manage to even catch a glimpse of the little ones starting grade R?
I did. I joined the principals and teachers at a primary school called Timer Hall Primary School and spent some time today together with the Premier with the grade Rs and grade ones. And I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. Most of the learners were settled. There were some tears, but most of the learners were having fun. And one little boy was delighted when I assured him that he did not have to sleep at the school that evening. His parents would be picking him up at about 12:30 that morning. So we had a lot of fun this morning. It's all systems go, and I think we've had a very good first day, but of course there are still very significant challenges.
And what about you, MEC Lerule, because as we're hearing now, little tears in the Western Cape. We often characterize this day when it comes to the grade Rs with lots of tears and anxiety. How was day one?
Thank you so much, and greetings once more. Day one was exciting. We went to one of our secondary schools in Westernburg High. This is one of the schools that were non-performing, and now they have reached their 90% mark with the class of 2024. But also, this is a school that is in the township, and we have seen it in the past 2 years transforming. One of the interesting things was that when we arrived there, the school has have embraced social cohesion in terms of the language, because the township is more Afrikaans speaking, but we were able then to sit and talk to the learners. But what is interesting is that the learners are able now to embrace the challenges that they are facing beyond just being a township school. And I think now Westernburg High is a school of choice, unlike before, where parents did not want to take their learners there because of non-performance and also high level of bullying.
And I can see the MEC Hlomuka, who has just joined us for this conversation. MEC, good evening to you. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's talk about how day one went in KwaZulu-Natal. All right, we'll try to establish there a connection with the MEC of KwaZulu-Natal. Let me come back to you, MEC Maynier, because one of the big issues that we've seen in some of the provinces there has been the issue of placements, particularly the Western Cape also not being spared from this challenge. We saw that when you look at the number of grade 1 and 8 pupils who still needed to be placed was at 2,400. Is that still the case right now?
We have placed 98% of our grade 1s and grade 8s, which of course are the two principal entry grades. But as you say, there are 2,473 learners in grade 1 and 8, which we are in the process of placement. Currently, our districts are working with schools and with parents to ensure that those learners are placed. I think one of the new challenges that we are now dealing with is we are also receiving fairly large numbers of what we call extremely late applications. Those are applications which are lodged with the department after the 1st of January 2025, which is almost 9 months after the admissions window for this school year closed. And of course, what makes it particularly challenging dealing with these applications is that it's very difficult to forecast first where the learners will present. And then, of course, each learner has unique language, subject requirements, and in some cases, special needs requirements. So dealing with the extremely late applications is a particular challenge, but we will be working, as I've said, with our districts and with our schools and with our parents to place those learners in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Let me come to you, MEC Lerule, before I go to KZN. You have parents, for example, at Kutsakeni Primary School, just outside Giyani, who are worried that the storm-damaged infrastructure might collapse and injure their children. They are expressing serious concerns there. How are you addressing that?
We have come with different ways. Last week, you'll remember that I was there in those areas where we were checking and we were dispatching our infrastructure team to go there. And the rain has not made it easier for us. As we speak today, I've got one circuit in Waterberg already. The school is flooded. The roads are damaged. They can't reach there. So what we have done, even this afternoon, we had an EXCO meeting, which we have agreed to collaborate with Public Works for the roads. And then we ourselves, again, will then deal with the immediate issues in terms of cordoning the different areas where we know that the learners should not be able to go. That's what we are doing. But also, I've gone to a program where I'm supplying mobile classrooms where we know that our roofs have gone and is going to take, it needs us to have a month for the engineers and both the contractors to be on site. So last week, between the 6th and the 10th, that is the whole issue that I was addressing, so that then today we can be able to say we open doors. Remember, the parents are going to be worried because when they see a roof has gone, they don't understand the engineering work that has gone there. They will think that we are going to collapse anytime. But otherwise, we have been ready to open our gates today in all the schools, including the 165 storm damaged schools.
All right, let me bring in the MEC of for Education in KwaZulu-Natal. MEC Hlomuka, hopefully you can hear me now. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. How was day one?
Evening to yourself and evening to the viewers, and greeting to our colleagues. We really want to appreciate all educators and all learners and the parents that came back and to all schools. We have 8,090 schools across the province. All our team have been doing monitoring. I also visited a number of schools, high schools and primary, because we are not only focusing in high schools or we're also focusing on foundation, because foundation is key. And I must indicate that everything is well. There are challenges where there are schools that have been affected by storm, and our team from infrastructure is dealing with that. But I must indicate that teaching and learning have taken place in the first day of the opening of the school, and we are glad that our educators are back in full force.
You have, though, MEC Natu, that is saying that whilst teaching and learning has continued in many schools, there's a shortage of mobile classrooms in Umkhanyakude district, which is one of the areas that was affected by storms. How are you addressing that?
Well, you must remember that Umkhanyakude is a top district in the province and is number 3 in the country. And we are working with the district director, with circuit managers and all principals to all schools, not only Umkhanyakude, including Umkhanyakude that have been affected by storm. And we are going to supply those schools. But there's no learner that a mobile classroom, but there's no learner that is not housed or don't have shelter or a classroom to be taught by our educators.
And before I move on to the issue of matriculants, I just want to start with you, MEC Maynier, because the issue of shrinking budgets is a reality for the sector as well. And I wonder, very briefly, what becomes your priority areas going into 2025 to address some of that?
Well, budget.
Pardon me, MEC Hlomuka, I'm going to come back to you with that question as well. Let's just give it to the Western Cape for now.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
Well, as we look forward into this school year, we will obviously have a very key focus on improving our learning outcomes, improving our pass rates, but particularly focusing on indicators of quality education, improving our bachelor's pass rate, improving our maths pass rate, and our physical science pass rate, but also improving our maths participation rate and physical science participation rate. Then the second priority will be to expand access to education in our province and try to mobilize a sustainable source of funding to overcome the budget cuts and to enable the province to build new schools faster and employ teachers so that we can provide quality education for every learner in our province. I think those are the big challenges for 2025.
What about you, MEC Lerule?
I think for us, 2024 was a year of academic excellence, and you can see we want to continue, like my colleague is indicating, in terms of accessibility and quality. We want to focus on giving support now to the educators. We had a post basket last year in the year 2024 that we did not finish to employ teachers in our schools. So we are starting with that process, promotional post. In big schools, we are going to have HODs and deputy principals, just to make sure that we start to offload too much work on the educators that are on the ground. Because if we talk quality, we talk accessibility, there should be an educator in front of a learner. And that is the focus in terms of us when we talk academic excellence. We have started already with the training of the ECD teachers and also ECD staff. Because when we talk about ECD, we should understand that when we got the shift from social development, we inherited a team that needs training. So we have already started with the training. November last year, the 200 graduated. Now in February, we are prioritizing the educators, the staff, and also just to make sure that the team is empowered and we talk quality with a team that is ready.
All right. For you, MEC Hlomuka?
Well, we are engaging with the Department of Finance or Treasury in the province and also national, because it is true that we students have financial challenges. We can't hide it. It also affects in terms of allocation of norms and standards because it's an open secret. But with the limited resources we have to try our level best to create systems to support educators, to also at least to have a conditional grant for infrastructure. We have a plan in trying to fix a number of schools that have been damaged and maintain number of schools and also building schools. But for those schools that have not done well, we are going to visit all schools that have not done well and are going to develop an improvement plan so that we'll able to increase number of bachelors in our province. We'll also identify some subjects like maths, physical science and accounting to say let's support and develop educators and or request other educators from other schools or other districts to assist other schools, because we need to work together. We are one department, we are one sector. If one school is not doing well, the other school must assist, even in these challenges that we are faced with.
So as a final question then to all three of you, MEC Hlomuka, I start with you. As you talk about increasing the bachelor passes there, I don't want us to end with gloom. You came second when it comes to the matric results. This is a huge improvement, especially when you look at the number of bachelor passes. You had most of that. Certainly, this is a proud moment for the province.
We must really, this outcome is an outcome of educators and learners who have been committed in ensuring that the learners, they listen to our educators. Educators, they work under the difficult conditions, but they've tried their level best. And we are still going to engage them to say, look, education is a societal matter. However, we're still going to engage a private sector, because private sector, they must not come at the end when our learners, they've completed grade 12, but they must also assist in our schools in terms of assisting in terms of building lab, in terms of giving our learners computers and so on and so forth, so that when you develop a learner, you develop a learner from at the high school level, not take a learner when the learner finish the grade 12.
And for you, MEC Maynier, are you hoping to increase your pass rate for 2025?
We were delighted with our pass rate, 86.6%, the highest ever in our province. I was delighted with that. We'd also significantly increased our bachelor's pass rate. And from our perspective, most importantly, we got the highest maths pass rate and the highest physical science pass rate and the top learner in the country. So I'm very proud of the Matric class of 2024. But we now need to improve on those results, and certainly that is what we will be working towards in the coming year. And the Matric class of 2025 has some very big shoes to fill here in the Western Cape.
Certainly, and when you look at Limpopo, MEC Lerule, I mean, the province at some point really traversed through some difficult times, and we've seen when it comes to the pass rates and how things were in some instances not looking so great, but there's now a 5.5% increase from 2023. You must be delighted.
Yes, we are very, very excited. The whole team, both our SGBs, the educators, the learners, and all the stakeholders, and all our districts, like in other provinces, no district in Limpopo has performed below 80%. And we are silently and with dignity negotiating with my colleagues. We were on position 7, now we are in position 6, and I'm sure with my colleagues, MECs will negotiate who makes way for us this year. Because indeed, we are going higher. But we want to also indicate that Limpopo has always been a province of maths and science. But this year, we saw a rise in the business studies and in economics. And it's exciting because we are trying by all means to say, as we improve the pass rates, let's also talk to the developmental goals of the province. We are a mining province, and we need those skills. We need the different understanding on how to activate the economy through our curriculum. And this is what we are going to be working around. And like others are saying, it is a societal matter. The education needs everybody to rise, and we have seen Limpopo rising in that regard. So we are hoping for better days in 2025. We have started early. Last week, I had a school that on the 6th grade 12 was already in that circuit. Only 2 schools in that circuit were not at school. Otherwise, all other schools were already in class to prepare for the class of 2025.
All right, let's see then if your colleagues will negotiate a spot there for you, and let's see what happens between all 3 of you. So thank you so much. I see MEC Maynier saying no, so I certainly don't think you can touch KZN. I don't know. They're also saying no. So let's see what
we'll talk to Western Cape to borrow Limpopo.
Okay, let's see what happens then in 2025. Thank you so much to you all for your time. Those are the MECs there. Sipho Hlomuka, KZN Education MEC, Mavhungu Lerule-Ramakhanya, who's the Limpopo Education MEC, as well as David Maynier, who's the Western Cape Education MEC.